All right, welcome back. Welcome back to the Excuse Me Brother podcast. I'm your host, Brother Jay. With me tonight, I got my co-host, my original OG co-host, Brother Tay. What's going on,
I go by many names, but Tay is the most common one.
Tay is the common. Is it really?
Like my most common nickname?
Yes.
Because of my family and high school friends.
Family and high school friends. So people call you Tay Tay?
Some people do. Most people do it as a joke.
Joke?
Yeah, like they just, to annoy me, they'll do like Tay Tay. But like most people don't normally. Huh?
I don't see how that's annoying, but okay.
When I was in high school, when you're immature, it just gets annoying. It's just the way they did it sometimes. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. College friends and people from college call me T.
Right.
And then other people would just know me by my first name, which at this point, no one calls me by my first name, so it's always weird to hear it.
Nobody calls you Tayshawn?
Nope.
It's just Tay and Woods or Mr. McFadden.
I've heard that one. Mr. McFadden was my high school dean's favorite thing to call me.
Mr. McFadden.
He would yell it out, and he's like sick. He was 6'6", and he was the basketball head coach. He just yell it from across the hall. Oh, he wouldn't. Or he doesn't say Mister. He just yell out my last name, McFadden. Come here. I'm like, fuck. If he doesn't, I'm like, if I hide low enough, he won't see me.
Listen, you can't hide. Big as you is, you can't hide, brother.
I had bigger teammates. Like,
but still, as big as you is, you still can't hide.
Yeah, it was impossible. Woods is only, people only call me that in my job.
Yeah, it's kind of like for me too. Like in my last, at my job, we all go by last name pretty much. So I'm like, oh, everybody calls me Diamond. I'm like, it's not terrible, but it's still weird being just referred to by my last name all the time. I'm just like, some people call me by my initials. Like there's one supervisor, he calls me by my initials, like, yo, JD, what up? And then there's another guy at the office who calls me by my initials. So I'm like, all right, cool. I can live with that. JD, I can live with that.
I feel like you wouldn't like it if I said that.
What, JD?
Yeah.
Nah, if you called me JD, I wouldn't mind.
All right, I might do it like in little spurts just to test it out. Because look, I'm already bad with names to begin with, so it's not. My friends, everyone yells at me anyway.
Nah, I don't mind being called JD. It's my initials. I mean, why would I? One nickname I absolutely hated. Oh my god, my cousin used to call me. She used to call me Jace. I'm like, nah. Jace, like Jase or JAC.
I was thinking of that. I was like JAYCE, like Jace. Like,
nah, I reject that one.
That's so many. That's so unnecessary.
I reject it.
I can see
my
why.
nieces and my nephews call me JJ.
Oh, that's cute. Because it's
it's cute. I'd let them get away because it's cute. But we go by many nicknames on this podcast.
I feel like that's
so. As y'all can see, producer Jay is not here tonight. He's doing producer Jay things, being a family man and all that good stuff. But he'll be back soon.
No kids.
He's trying to be a productive member of society and trying to be all wholesome.
One of us has to. Sure as all like me.
Why can't you? Why not you?
Because I don't want peace. I want problems. Always.
I mean, you
always problems. Oh, absolutely. I said that last night to my friends. And I was like, they're like, you can be a solution. I was like, well, I can also, but why be a solution when I can be the whole damn problem?
Be the problem. Facts. Oh, goodness. Speaking of problems.
I thought we were going to...
Huh?
I was going to go off the thing about your name being your nickname being JD. I was like, speaking of J's, right?
We can definitely, you know what? We can go with that too. Speaking of Jays, listen, I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of J. Cole, but we got to talk about it. We
Tremaine.
got we got to talk about what Jermaine did, and then what he did after what he did after he done did what he did.
I feel like this is a great time because Drake released his response to everything today as well.
Today he released
Yeah.
another one.
Well, he just released the first response, which it's called push-ups. It's
Oh,
fine. That's
yeah,
finally
give me, yeah.
everyone knew about Drop and Give Me 50, but now it's officially released.
And there people were saying that there it was like an AI uh thing, that it was an AI track, that he it wasn't really him. And I'm just like, yeah,
No,
see, there we go again. There we go
no,
with
that
that
was
bullshit.
there was a Kendrick Lamar response that was AI generated. That was claim fake.
Well, who did that? But
I remember hearing it, and it was like in the AI version, they said he was like the AI Kendrick Lamar words. He was like Drake got fucked by Diddy. He's
oof.
like I said, yeah. So
So, I mean, as we all know, Kendrick Lamar uh did a well, he was featured on Metro Boomin and Future's track Like That, where he supposedly or allegedly threw some shots at Drake and J. Cole, where he said basically, fuck the big three, it's just big me. Like, I don't rock with y'all. I'm the best out of the three of us anyway. So fuck what y'all talking about. And in response, J. Cole dropped the Might Delete Later mixtape on Apple Music and all streaming
that's
platforms
about.
about
Mm-hmm.
about it was like, what, maybe a week later.
It was about a week later because he was already working on my delete later, but he added the response track called 7 Minute Drill.
Right, right. And he, I know it's
Which
funny, he dropped that the day of the earthquake.
I remembered.
I
Which
woke up that
everyone
one. Yeah, I'm
I
sorry.
love
Yeah,
that. I love that earthquake. It was so fun being in bed for that.
yeah, I was chilling. Yo, yeah, real fast before we dive into that. That earthquake, I was just chilling, playing, I forgot what I was playing. Then I just feel my room shaking. I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm like, nah, was that a whole earthquake? So I texted my mother and my sisters. And I was like, yo, did y'all feel that? Did y'all feel the earthquake? My sister, who was home at the time, my older sister, she was like, yeah. And my mother was like, what earthquake?
I went because when it happened here in my home, I thought it was just a truck going by because like I normally that normally happens. Like I feel like the whole ground because trucks are crazy in this neighborhood. But then
Right,
like it kept going. I'm like, whoa. It's like this. I was like, this
right,
isn't a truck. This is a
right.
truck. Then I texted all my friends. I texted my friend Yonkers. He's like, yeah, I felt that. I was like, oh yeah, Yonkers. And then my friends in New Jersey was like, yeah, I felt that too. I was like, oh, this is the earthquake in general. Okay.
Yeah, there's an earthquake. Okay. So, but yeah, I heard the shaking, like I heard the rumble, and I thought that there was some construction going on. I was like, wait a minute. It kept,
I
like you
feel like
said, it kept rumbling.
I love that everyone was like, oh, I thought that was the train going by. I was like, trains don't make the whole house shake like that. There's a difference.
Unless unless you live like literally right next to it. Like you can touch the track from your window essentially. But other than that, nah, you don't, like, trains don't make that much movement. You know what I mean? So, but yeah. So the earthquake happens, and J. Cole drops a mixtape, and
The
at the end of
same
the
day.
mixtape he responds to Kendrick Lamar's Like That verse. How did you feel
Mhm.
about the first of all, how did you feel about the mixtape overall?
The mixtape itself, I thought had some good tracks. It's a normal J. Cole mixtape. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's some tracks that are like, all right. like on your first hear, you're like, all right, this is good, but not to me personally. There's not a lot of tracks you can go back to. J Cole sometimes like when his tracks are really replayable. There's only like 5 out of all of them. On my delete, it was like good 6 to 7. That was like not 6. There's only 7 in there, but it was like maybe like 5 that I thought was like replayable to me personally.
Mm-hmm.
And then the response. So I thought the mixtape was good. A lot of people liked the whole mixtape itself. Like I saw nothing but great reviews about the whole mixtape and the whole project. My favorite one was probably PI and HYB.
Uh-huh.
Though a lot of people didn't like HYB.
So I think my favorite song of them all is actually Pricey, which is the first track on the album. Well, mixtape, whatever.
Oh no, Crocodile Tears was like that's the first one, but that's my first one actually. That I like that one as
Crocodile
well.
Tears was nice. Crocodile Tears was definitely dope.
I like Crocodile Tears. That was like the preview track that he did.
Oh, right. But he wasn't on Facebook Live, but he was like previewing like little snippets here and there, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I remember that was I was like, don't do that to me. I was like, I need that whole track, and the whole track was great.
Right. But yeah, I thought the mixtape was pretty decent. I mean, obviously it wasn't his best mixtape. To me, Friday Night Lights takes that title.
Friday Night Lights is hard to beat. It's like that and like all of No Ceilings for Lil Wayne. They're so hard to catch too.
Bro, like Friday Night Lights is what sold me as a J. Cole fan. Like I was like, okay, yeah, this nigga is ill. Like he's nasty. Like this dude is nasty. Cause I listened to the come up, I listened to the warm up, but it didn't resonate with me as much as Friday Night Lights did. Friday Night Lights had me like, yo, this guy is fucking dope. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
And
saying.
then when I got into when I graduated high school and got into college, you know, of course I listened to Sideline Story. When I started working for Target, that's when Born Sinner
Forest
came
Hill.
out.
Forest Hill was probably my favorite one.
Really?
So Forest Hill. Well, I wasn't really a fan of mixtapes at the time when these artists came out, so I didn't know about Friday Night Lights. But it was Born Sinner that was like, I was like, oh, I was like, okay, like this dude got some real bars. I'm like, I don't know who this dude is yet.
And
then like it was that.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
No, then after that was Forest Hill Drives.
Forest Hill Drive got me through my senior year of college. Like straight up. 100%. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like my favorite J. Cole song is actually January 28th.
Oh,
yeah, like that album got me through senior year. Those 3 albums that came out my senior year of college that got me through. Like it was that one. It was 2014 Forest Hill Drive. Tattoo on Youth by Lupe Fiasco. And Before the Cash by Joey Badass.
Joey Badass is so underrated.
So underrated. It's criminal.
He's a true Bronx boy.
But he's from Brooklyn.
Is he? He sounds like he's from the Bronx so much.
He's from Brooklyn. He's from Bed-Stuy.
Okay. He's still he's got true New York City like rhymes with him. Like he's a true saint to it.
1000%. But yeah, those 3 albums got me through my senior year of college. And Cole, you know, Cole to me kind of stood out above some of his peers. I'm not gonna say all of them. He's huh?
I was like, no, you got it, son.
He stood out above some of his peers because he was very introspective with his music, and I felt that way. Like I felt very introspective. Like I was in a very introspective time because I was about to finish my college career and this, that, and the third, and his music resonated with me. What about you?
When I became a full fan of him,
yeah,
when Forest Hill Drive came out, I was a fan of Born Sinner. Forest Hill Drive, I thought was one of the best albums I heard at that point in my life because I wasn't really. That's when I had just really started discovering more about hip hop itself. Mm-hmm. It was that, and then like I got into. That's when I learned a lot more about Kendrick Lamar. Wasn't ever really a Drake fan, honestly.
Read?
Not really. Not really. Never really cared that much about him. Like I
Uh,
know he made hits, but it was more like I was like it was Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole. I think at that point I was already a fan of Lupe as well. The
mhm.
Lupe Outcast. That's when and then I started going backwards. So that's when I discovered like Tribe Called Quest and
And
like in De La Soul, like all these
oh,
other rappers.
oh yes, De La Soul. Oh, speaking of which, I mean, I'm a little late in saying this, but their music is finally on like streaming platforms.
Who De La
You don't
Soul?
have to pay it any. Well, now you not necessarily buy it, but like you can finally stream it on Apple Music and Spotify and stuff like that. You couldn't do
Uh,
that earlier. Like late, like mid last year. They did that mid last year, but they finally got their music on streaming platforms.
okay, about to go look them back up again. When it
Sir,
comes to it's just me, myself, and I. It's just so weird. I loved it so much. But that's also why I got into like more violent stuff. That's when like I got more Eminem and like Lil Wayne and Hobson. Who a lot of
mm,
people will not know about, and that's fine. And Tech Nine and rappers like that. I'm all over the place with my music taste though. I could tell when we do the music challenges. You ever look at the when I do?
yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, shout out to you for holding it down for the last 2 days because I definitely forgot. I missed like
It's
2 days in a.
it's okay because I missed 2 days because of how busy I got. So I was like he did it. So I was like let me get the ones he did do.
Because I was like, oh shoot. I saw yours. I was like, damn, it's too late to post one for myself now.
I was just throwing. I'm like just weird things. Let's see what I can do.
Um,
It's always so fun.
so let me ask you about this, right? You said Cole is definitely someone that you admire musically. How
Yes,
do you feel the same way about Kendrick Lamar? Because I do.
I yes, absolutely. Because they both one Kendrick Lamar has a weird texture to it to me.
Mm,
Because his rhymes and stuff, but it's very like as he said, he's very conscious, but he's also commercial, so it's kind of weird sometimes.
mm,
But as you could like, but J Cole is a full on philosophy abstract artist, where Kendrick Lamar can go everywhere. To my belief. Like J Cole can too, but I feel like it just wouldn't be his lane. Like Kendrick Lamar technically doesn't have a lane to me, if that makes
true.
sense to you.
I no, I think I get it. When did you first get introduced to Kendrick?
I knew of Kendrick. I already knew of Kendrick because of the BET ciphers and Double
Yes.
XL.
Right, right.
So like whenever I saw him on those things, I was like, he killed it. But his music at that time was not something I was into. Like I think the only track I have of him that I liked from that then was called like Milk and Cereal, and it was still weird. It's still technically a weird track.
Eh.
It's like very. JID, right?
Yes.
It's very like that. It's like very early JID work, and I'm like they're the same person, and that type of thing. Like the beats are all over the place, it's scratchy, and they're changing their voices all the time to like some
Right.
sort of weird cartoon like commercial thing. When
Mhm.
he did when he did Good Kid, Mad City, then I became more of a fan.
See what you're saying.
Yeah, that's when I was like,
Um,
okay, now I can do a Kendrick Lamar. But before that, I was like, I don't know what the hell this little dude's doing.
so what did you listen to the overly dedicated mixtapes?
Not all of no, I don't think I never did. I got some track like I got some tracks from Section 80, and then
Mhm.
some from like another one. But like I didn't really become a fan of him until Mac, like Good City,
Okay,
Mad Kid.
Matt said.
Well, Met, yeah, whatever. You know what I meant.
Okay, that's
Hey, Mad Kid, Good City.
I got introduced to Kendrick by my high school friends because they were listening to the overly dedicated mixtapes. And at first I couldn't get into it, but I think my boy Cordell, he sat me down and actually like, no, listen to this. Like you would like him. I'm like, okay, let me try. And then Section 80 came out. Section 80. The funny thing is Section 80 is not a mixtape. It's an actual album. It's just an indie album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It wasn't released. any major label. I don't think he was signed to Top Dog yet. But
Isn't Top Dog
you know,
his own creation?
huh?
I thought Top Dog was his own creation, his own label.
It's I think it's
It's just under like Aftermath and Interscope.
right, but
Like
he's not like it's not his label, so to speak. It was actually founded by what's his name? Top Dog. His name is he's a producer. You know what I'm saying?
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, now
Top
that
Dog.
okay.
Right.
I thought
Top
Top
Dog.
Dog was just his label and like Dreamville is J. Cole's label. That's what I thought. I was
Well,
like, that's what I thought it was.
it kind of. Well, see, it's weird
No,
because. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, because I like Dreamville is something. The difference is I really thought like J. Cole like pitched and made Dreamville while under Rockefeller. So technically, it might still be under Rockefeller's umbrella, but it is still technically just It is J. Cole's creation and the people he
Right.
signed. Top
Right.
Dog technically belongs to the producer. Top Dog, Kendrick Lamar just helped him create it, but it wasn't his idea. That's what I'm saying.
Find him to it too. You know, what's his name? It's two guys really. Top Dog and his son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Top Dog and his son. They run the label, but Kendrick is like obviously their biggest
the headliner.
Right, he's the headlining act. But if remember, what's his name is under Top Dog also. He was their first signee. So, yeah, he was their first signee.
Who? Schoolboy Q or Absol?
No, J Rock. I'm sorry, J Rock.
Oh yeah, that's right, J Rock. J Rock is J Rock.
Absol.
Absol, Schoolboy Q, SZA.
Yes, exactly.
And there's more, but I remember Isaiah something. Can't remember his last name. Which people also like. People like him a lot as well.
Oh,
Isaiah Rashad, I think is his name.
You might be right. You might be right.
I know his name is Isaiah. His right name is Isaiah.
No, I think you're right. He's part of Top Dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Isaiah Rashad.
Yep, I try my best to pay attention to the labels when people go to.
Yes,
for collaboration purposes, so I can drink.
Well, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's Top Dog. I mean, Isaiah Rashad is part of Top Dog. He's not one of their flagship artists, but yes, he is part of the label.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kendrick's first album wasn't released through Top Dog, but that's what got me into it. In fact, for a long time, my favorite song by him was Cushion Corinthians. You know what I'm saying?
I was an ADHD kid.
ADHD. So I like ADHD. I liked Fuck Your Ethnicity.
But it's from section 8. It was definitely ADHD and no makeup. Though I know people don't like that a lot.
What's the it's not Kamikaze. That's not the name of the song.
That's an Eminem. That's an Eminem diss track.
Rigor Mortis was one of my favorite songs also.
I do remember that one.
And this is Rigor Mortis, and then so that I love that from that album made me love Kendrick. So when Good Kid, Mad City came out, it was like he blew up. You know what I'm saying? And to me, he kind of leapfrogged J. Cole when he made that album. No, not when he made that album. I'm sorry, when he made To Pimp a Butterfly. That to me, that's when he leapfrogged J. Cole. Because To Pimp a Butterfly is a classic. It's a hip hop classic.
Yeah.
Right? It was also go ahead.
Now I always get mad at though, because those both Forest Hill Drive and To Pimp a Butterfly came out in the same time. I'm like, oh y'all hurt me so much with these.
But you see, To Pimp a Butterfly, the reason why I say Pimp a Butterfly was had leapfrogged and will catapulted Kendrick over Cole, in my opinion, was because that album wasn't just like an album for the listener. That was an album for the people. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember what was going on at the time? I think it was I think that was the Michael Brown killing and
Yes.
the the whatchamacallit, who was the brother in Staten Island? Eric Garner, right? The brother that got choked out by the police officer in Staten Island,
Yep. That
and they
was
tried
Eric
to say
Garner.
that, oh, yes, that's Eric. All that was happening around that time. So when that album came out, it kind of like, gave a soundtrack to the revolution at the time. Like there were a lot of protests and there was a lot of this, that,
That
and the third.
definitely that definitely was one of the him and I'm not gonna lie to you, him and Little Baby definitely led that protest, and I was so happy for them
Exactly. And
because like
they
Little
did a good
Bit,
job.
yeah, those two did a fantastic job producing music for those times. Because
Exactly.
it
Okay,
this is
guys,
the
I'm sorry.
revolution, not just the revolution of like we gonna be alright and like I love myself, and
Mhm.
then it's bigger than black and white.
Right.
So
See?
that's what turned Little Baby to like the joke from like a joke into an actual rapper that people could respect.
Exactly.
And
No, 1,000%.
just, but yeah, that's definitely to me. I think that's when Kendrick Lamar became everyone's top and the public eye as well because he won the Pollsters. Oh, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Pollster?
Poster
He
boy.
won not the poster boy, the award he won, the Pollster.
Oh, the Polister. Okay.
Yeah, because it
He
was
won a
like that's
poster.
what he got. It
What?
definitely he. That's when he. That was during
Well,
that
he
time.
okay.
Because then
And then
then he took over the album for Black Panther, which I thought should have won a Grammy, but we're not gonna talk about that.
yo.
Not a Grammy. That should have won an Oscar. Fuck that.
It,
It
oh
should
yeah.
have.
Yeah,
That album was fantastic.
he should have won for that. The fact that he didn't still doesn't sit right with me.
All the stars around you, and like that whole album produced by them was great. The Black
Um
that first Black Panther album was special. It needed an
yeah,
Oscar, and
it
fuck yeah.
was. It was a really good album. Um but it felt like a top dog album, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It had a bunch of top dog guys on it. Had a bunch of SZA was on it, obviously. Then they had Future. It was a really good soundtrack. It was one of the better soundtracks to a superhero movie I've ever heard.
That is definitely one of the best movie soundtracks I've gotten in a while.
Right.
Like I
But
still
they don't really nobody really pays attention to soundtracks unless they're scores. So it's like, you know what I
fuck
mean?
fuck what their video is. That shit should have won an Oscar.
I look
That I also feel the same way about Creed 3. Cause that whole Creed 3 soundtrack was made by Dreamville and J. Cole. And I also thought that should have won a Grammy.
oh, I actually never listened to that soundtrack. Maybe I should. Well, I
Nah.
also never seen Creed 3, so
You should I never watched Creed 3 either. But I forgot what it is on Creed 3, but J. Cole has like probably it's like the main villains like theme. And I swear to God, if you the start of it, you're like, oh, the boss is really had just shown up in this.
well, that was with Jonathan Majors, no? That's
Yep,
what. Okay,
it's
so
literally with
yeah,
Jonathan Major.
okay,
I would say listen. It's like Adonis. It's like Adonis. Something
okay.
like
I'll go back and listen to it then.
because
Um,
that's the entry. That's the entry music for the villain you gotta face. I'm like fuck.
final bosses showed up before the Rock. Before the Rock started calling himself final boss.
I mean, we'll see. He wasn't. He's about to be the final boss.
Yo, we'll get into WrestleMania another time, but yeah, the Rock really showed out at WrestleMania this year. Like that whole storyline was magic,
And
pure
this
cinema. It was pure
and it's
cinema.
I loved it. They're also it's only going to get better now because now they're adding actual more family members.
Exactly.
But also back on track. The reason why we bring this up is only because like we said, J. Cole released his response in 7-minute drill.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess it came out. How did you feel about the response anyway?
How do I feel about 7 Minute Drill, the song?
Yes.
Um, I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't think it was as far as disses go, I was like, okay, this was like a jab. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like a light
That's
punch.
that's what he said at the end of it. These are like everyone like he said at the end of that, like these are just a warning shot. And
Right.
I was like,
Okay.
oh, I was like, and I remember after hearing that, I'm like, it wasn't the response, it's just a warning shot. I'm like, this is good for a warning shot. No problems with this. A lot of
Right.
people, the public did not like it at all. It was
It,
such a
it
nonsense thing.
right. So I noticed that too. I was like, okay, a lot of people not feeling it, but I can understand. I understand why they're not feeling it, but I understand where Cole's coming from. It's like, all right, this is just light work. Like he said in the song, light work. You know what I mean? To me, the song kind of sounded like it would be a song more suitable for Drake. Like it sounded very Drake-ish. Like it was giving me
It,
Drake vibes.
I think that's the funnier part is like that would be a Drake diss track. But like I said, he said this is just a warning of what I have. It's a warning shot if it
Right.
needs to go down. If it needs to really go down. I mean, okay. They both gave each other jabs. That was it. That's how I felt about it. No one said anything too hurtful about each other. It's not like a real. It wasn't like a real diss to me.
And this is where the apology heard around the world pisses me off.
Oh, I was so done. I was so pissed as well.
Oh my, yo, good. You talk about it because like we spoke about before, you were supposed to be at Dreamville that weekend,
I
and you weren't.
was. I was not
Tell us,
able to go
tell
due
us
to
why,
the
Tay.
airline. I guess it's because we thought the airline had. I was supposed to leave on that Thursday.
Uh
I
huh.
was leaving Thursday morning, so I was already at the airport. They had delayed the flight from 7:30 to like 11:30. So I was like, all right, that's a 4 hour delay. Like it is what it
Wait,
is.
wait. Before we go any further, what airline was this? Number one,
It was JetBlue.
and where were you at? You were at LaGuardia. Or you were at JFK.
I was in JFK.
See, if you flew from LaGuardia, listen, JFK has been like it's been not the airport of choice for me anymore. I'm thinking about like going to LaGuardia exclusively from now on. But continue. I'm
I
sorry.
I understand that, but literally when I had picked the flights to go there, like 2 months ago, like JFK was like the cheapest one at the time. It was still JetBlue. It was like a $10 difference.
Uh-huh.
But when I originally bought it, I thought it was LaGuardia, but it turned out to be JFK. I'm like, all right, no problem. Like we'll leave then. Like I said, it got delayed to 11:30. Then it got delayed to 2:30.
Eats.
Like
Oh,
and then it got delayed for another hour to 3:30. Then they just canceled it automatically. And they're like, okay, we're going to book you on the next automatic flight that comes in. They're like, we apologize for this. We'll book you on the next flight to go to your destination. I was like, oh, well, I guess I gotta wait until we saw that. And then I was like, maybe like it was just the day. Maybe they might book us for tomorrow or something like that. Then
uh,
we got an email saying like all the flights along the East Coast are canceled until Saturday or Sunday. And I was
Jesus.
like, what?
Wow.
Because then
Did they,
I literally,
why?
I, huh?
Did they say why?
I, they said they did their own investigation. And then they were like, due to our investigation, we found out it was our fault. So we sent you a credit. Hold on. Hey, give me a minute.
Hey, shit. Not.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry, the dog started barking. My
You
roommate just
good?
left to do something.
No, you good. Jeremy, edit
But
this out.
all right, back. Yeah, so literally, I went on my phone. We talked to customer service. They're like, yeah, no flights till like Sunday or Saturday, and I was like, I'm not. I was like, I'm not gonna deal with this nonsense. So I just put my insurance claim, like I got the credit for the flight, and I put my insurance claim to get the tickets back from Dreamville. Still waiting for that money back. I just spoke to a representative about that like yesterday too.
So you did put the insurance on the.
Well, yeah, I always get. I always get my insurance on these tickets. It's expensive ass tickets.
No. What about the tickets to Dreamville?
Oh no, that's what I'm talking about. I put insurance on the Dreamville tickets. But the airport ticket, I'll make that money back. I've already made that money back. There's no problem with that. I'm living life like this. The Dreamville tickets were like $800. I put insurance on that. I needed that one.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, when I go to a music festival, so you know, I do VIP things. I was a VIP.
Yes, you have VIP tickets. That is correct.
Yeah, so like, I'm gonna get this money back. Like I said, I already talked to insurance people. They got everything they need. I'm just waiting for it to be refunded.
Do they need like airline, like the proof of the airline canceling the?
Yeah, they already got that. They needed like the order of the ticket itself. And I was like, I already sent that, but here you go again. I guess sure. I try my best not to be rude to people in customer service or insurance, because like being rude to anyone doesn't really help you long run.
Absolutely, I agree.
So I'm like, what am I gonna do? Why am I gonna yell at the person who's trying to get my money back, saying what I need to do? I'm like, all right, if I submitted it one way, it didn't work. All right, what's the other way I can do it to make sure it works this time?
Right.
And that's what I did. I was like, all right, here you guys go. So if you need anything else, let me know.
So you missed the concert, and you missed the apology heard around the world.
So when I first heard about the apology, at first I was like, what did he apologize for? I was pissed. I was like, this makes no sense. What is he apologizing for? There's nothing to apologize. And then you know how everyone on Instagram and TikTok and all social media is like, nothing but memes coming from it.
Right.
So I'm like, damn, he really just said I'm sorry. Like, and then I saw the actual apology itself, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's definitely J. Cole. After I saw the video, I was like, all right, yeah, that's him. That makes sense for him.
So in a shocking move, a very shocking move, J. Cole backtracks on his 7-minute drill diss to Kendrick Lamar, and
I don't want to call it. I don't even want to call it a diss, because was it really? I mean, no, you're right. You're right. It technically was, but like,
right, like it's not really a diss, but it's a diss. You know what I'm saying? And he said that he would take the album, take the song off the streaming platforms, and as of now, it is. Like, I just checked my phone about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's off. I saw it was off like 3 days ago because I had it. I actually liked the track itself. Like, the response itself, like the Northern Lines, I just enjoyed the track. The beat was very good.
Like I said, the beat sounded a little Drake-ish, and I was like, we both said, we're not fans of Drake. Like, I could do without Drake.
But if you get watching the actual reason he apologized, because he went on a whole spiel about, he was like, he paid attention to like the public about what everyone was saying, and then he got riled up, and then he did the track, and then after it was released and he heard it again, he's like, it didn't sit right in his spirit.
Right.
And he was like, I only said I would beef with someone if I truly needed it, if I truly meant it personally. And he's like, I don't mean it personally. Like, I don't take. He's like, I really love Kendrick Lamar. Like, we were good brothers. So, right. And I don't, right. It just doesn't sit right in my soul. So he's like, that's when he apologized. He's like, I'm gonna take it off. I was like, all right. I'm like, he said this like years ago in Middle Child.
I'm stuck in the middle of two generations. I'm little bro and big bro all at once. Yeah.
Yeah, but like before even that part, he's like, I don't beef for a person with nothing. If I smoke a rapper, we'll be legit. It won't be for
Right.
clout. It won't be for fame.
Right.
And
It'll be,
technically, this was all about clout and fame.
but see, here's the thing, right? Here's why I didn't like the apology. Number one, Kendrick let it be known like 10 years ago that he wanted all the smoke. Y'all don't remember, like, you remember Control, right?
Absolutely, I remember Control. I love that track.
Like,
I always remember that track. And Cole was the first person he named on that.
first one.
It was
Look,
it was Cole first. You could go
he
look at
said,
it.
he said, I'm usually homeboys with the same niggas I'm rhyming with, but this is hip hop and nation know what time it is. And that goes for Jermaine Cole, the first name.
The full name, not even like part of the name. It was the full name. That's
So
so funny.
so I'm like, okay, he let it be known off the rip. I'm coming for your head, I'm coming for your head, and I'm coming for your head. So y'all need to, like, y'all should know what time it is. Listen, this is hip hop. All right. We are bred in competition. Like, a lot of people don't realize, like, the hip hop's culture, a lot of it has to do with competition and one-upsmanship. It ain't
It was.
always about good.
It's not. It's not about peace and love. But he said it. Like he wants. That's what Kendrick Lamar has always been on. Like he wants to be number one no matter what it is.
Exactly.
It's full competition, and I respect him for it.
Exactly. And that's
But
how
I
I
think
felt. I'm like, hey,
I
yeah, yeah.
nah. It's not, do go. Which one twice now?
So there's a lot of talk that people were like, oh, J. Cole is a grown man and he's not gonna be beefing with he doesn't want to beef because how many black men are always dying over useless conflict, and we just like, yo, this ain't that. This ain't Biggie and Pac getting into it with one another over shootings. This isn't G
There's a
Unit beefing
there's a
with
difference. Ja
here's a
Rule.
right.
This
Ain't
isn't that
nobody
type
gonna
of.
die over this.
We
you
say that
know?
now. But I feel like that was a different. I feel like that's the difference in what this beef is, though. Like the beat, because remember, the Kendrick Lamar's verse and even the whole album by Metro Boomin and Future was all targeted at Drake because they all had personal problems with Drake. So that's more of a personal issue. And then Kendrick Lamar just took jabs at J. Cole just because they had a track together, and he
So
called
can
it.
you can you educate me, enlighten me on what this whole issue is? Why does everybody hate Drake so much? I
I have
personally
no idea myself because I don't. I don't even. I understand. Like, I understand Rick Ross and Drake having problems because like that's girl problems. Like they always go after the same girl. So apparently that's has something to do with that. I don't know why him and Future are beefing or why him and Metro Boomin are beefing. But apparently, but Drake and Kendrick Lamar have been throwing shots. Well, Kendrick Lamar's been throwing shots at Drake man for a while. Apparently,
yeah,
it's been him and Big Sean, and I still don't know what the beef between Kendrick Lamar and Big Sean is. If you want
I
the
think
honest truth,
so. Okay, so with between Kendrick and Big Sean, I think it stems from the Control verse. I think it stems from the Control verse because um no, if I don't know if you noticed, but that song never made it to the album,
yes,
and
I
Big
know.
Sean
I know
wasn't
that.
happy, huh?
I do know that. But it was Big Sean's song for his album. He makes that decision.
Exactly. And they said it. Now the official story is that the song never made to the album because of sample clearance issues. I think it's a little bit more BS than that. I think it's straight up Kendrick bodied the song, and
I've
you're not gonna
with
body my song. You're not gonna
that's a
body me on my own song. You know what I'm saying?
that's a pride. You gotta put that down. Only because like just as a thing, there have been many tracks where futures have like destroyed other artists on them.
Hell,
You can't.
how many? Listen, we all know about. Speaking of beef, right? When Jay-Z and Nas were beefing, right? And Nas dropped Ether. What did he say? He said, Eminem murdered you on your own song.
Yeah,
That song was
Renegade.
yes,
He's not
Renegade.
wrong. Renegade's a hell of a track.
Bro, it might be the best song on that album. It
Absolutely.
just
Eminem was just better on that than Jay-Z was. He still
certainly
held
was.
his own, but
Certainly was.
sometimes it's like going into a
Just get out
boxing
the
match.
floor.
Yeah, sometimes you just lose in the match. That's it.
And hello. So when he's I think that's what it was, because Big Sean was not happy about the verse. Like, he really was not happy about that verse.
If
I get
anything,
called out on my own song, on my own album, and I'm supposed to just
I
be all right? Nah.
you better. I'm like, hey, if anything, he'd be. If I'm not gonna lie to you, if it's my pride is put to the side when it comes to albums and in projects that we do. Part of me would have been like, God damn, this shit killed, and he called my name out. And other rappers would have been like, motherfucker, he didn't say me at all. Am I not a threat to him?
No. And you know what's funny?
There-
It's funny that you say that, because I went back and listened to the verse, because that, to me, this is where this whole J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar and Drake stuff stems from. That Control verse. Kendrick, let it be known, I'm coming for blood. I want the smoke. Listen, but one upsman, I'm better than all of you. So I went back and watched because it's on YouTube, obviously. So I went back and listened to the verse, and
It's
someone
all
in the
it's
comments was like, he didn't diss everybody that he named. He dissed everybody that he didn't name.
that's what I said. It sounds like there's a lot of rappers in here that are not that should probably be upset. Because like he named to him, he named what he thought was his top 10 threats. That
His
was it.
top, yep.
And he probably put them in the order he thought.
Yes. Yes.
So if
'Cause
I'm
he
Big
even-
Sean,
he
I'm
even
like,
named
damn,
A$AP
I'm only
Rocky.
6. Huh?
He even named ASAP Rocky.
He named Tyler the Creator.
Right. And Tyler ain't no threat to nobody. Like,
He named
this nigga
Tyler.
want to run down and frolic.
He named Meek Mills and everything.
He said Jermaine. He said that goes for
Jermaine Cole, Big Kirk,
Big Crit, Big Crit,
Big. Oh, is it Big Kirk or Big Kirk? I call him Kirk.
Right, Big Crit,
Big Kirk, Wale, Meek Mills, Pusha T,
ASAP Rocky,
ASAP Rocky, Drake, Big Sean, Jay Electronica, Tyler, and Mac Miller.
Right, and Mac dead now, right?
Rest in peace. Yes, he died of an unfortunate overdose.
That was to be expected.
Don't be rude.
Listen, I don't mock the dead. I don't mock the dead. But that was to be expected. Okay? He had widely known drug issues. It's okay. I know. It's not to be expected. It shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. I'll say it like that.
He had depression. He had depression problems. Yeah.
A lot of us do.
True.
Yes, I just all life matters this. Yes, I did.
Whatever, racist. You gonna let me have that one?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you have that one.
Yeah, it was pretty much. It's very much Kendrick Lamar just threw a shot, and it's like, me and you are NBA people, and have you heard what the Philadelphia player said?
Oh yeah, he said that the Knicks are the easier option for them.
Like, that's just what Kendrick Lamar did. He's like, hey, this is easier. I'm throwing out shots for anyone who wants competition. Like, some people are gonna respond. Drake responded to this. And he even named Cole in his response for push-ups. And he's like, I don't give a fuck what Cole think. That shit was whack anyway. Not him, not what J. Cole did. His verse was whack.
But
that's what
all in all, you know what really, really, why I'm really, really, really like ultimately disappointed in not Kendrick and Cole for his apology. It's not that. Look, I understand. As a man of faith myself, I understand trying to get right and stay right with God. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get the spiritual imbalance. I get it. You know what I'm saying? When something don't sit right with your spirit, and you're just like, nah, I was really out of pocket for that. I was really out of character. Let me realign and readjust and examine myself and see if I'm in the right spot spiritually before I go off on the rails. I get all that. I understand it. I get where he's coming from. My thing is, Cole, for the last 6 or 7 years, you've been talking with your chest
crazy. I
talking
was thinking that too. I'm like, I remember, especially in his last few albums,
bro. You've been
don't think I
talking crazy.
don't absolutely don't think that whole track on Stick was wild.
Which
He was like,
track?
was it fucking? I don't know, when he did D-Day mixtape, literally last year before or Dreamville, he had a song called Stick with JID and like 2 other people. And he literally was like, anyone who got the K on them, I got a stick ready for you at any time. I'm like, all right, like you can't talk the way you talk and then do that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no, that what we call that? We call that a hypocrite. We call that when you've been talking crazy for the last 6 years, talking about no rapper better than me. I'm the hardest thing in the game. I got that thing ready for whatever rapper wanted. I knew any rapper that wanted, come test
come
me.
get it. Yep.
Come get it. I want all the smoke. Okay. Someone tested your gangster and you was like, nah. I don't want to fight. Nigga, what? No. No.
You get in there and you fight. It's
Fight.
like,
you know what I'm saying?
Fight back. Do you remember the meme where fucking this is a wrestling meme. Do you remember when John Cena was calling out the Undertaker?
Yes.
He's just poking him with a stick, like, do something. As everyone else is like, oh, what is this? Do something. And then what do you do with it? People's like, fuck.
Yo, like, nah, Cole, you had us. Listen, how we've been saying since 2014 Forest Hills Drive. Every time Cole released the album, Cole went platinum with no features. And we talk about how smooth this thing is and this, that, and the third. And you go and do that?
Yeah, it definitely did not.
Nah, I can't.
It definitely hurt a lot of his, especially as us two as his fan supporters. It definitely is like, oh, I'll fucking post this. How am I supposed to defend this?
Like, bro, your street cred is gone.
Like, all we could be like, yes, I understand why you did it, but god damn, like, why did you do it?
Right. And
like,
you know what?
You didn't, honestly, he didn't even have to apologize. He could have just been like, I want you to, like, that didn't feel right in my soul. Like, he didn't have to apologize. He could have just been like, like, he could have been like, I felt like that this wasn't really me. I want y'all to know that right now. Like,
right.
The apology wasn't needed. And he could have kept it on. There was no problem with that. You could have just said that. Just took it a little too far. I hate it.
And it's like, first of all, I never want to hear Cole talk about how hard he is again. I never want to hear it. If he ever says it again, I will stop listening to the music. I will skip the song until I hear the next verse, track, or whatever. I will skip to the next track. I never want to hear him talk about how hard he is again. Never, ever. Number one.
Yep.
Like, number two, he told Kendrick, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna stick my chin out, and you can basically do whatever you want. Like, if you want mollywop me, mollywop. Kendrick, he's mollywop this nigga, please.
Kendrick's not.
I hope he does though.
He won't.
I really hope he does.
I mean, here's the thing. That's the only way that someone's gonna get his street cred back is if Kendrick does do it, and then he actually releases a real diss track against it. That's the only way that this can only work out in that way. But I highly doubt Kendrick Lamar is going to do anything.
But do you think that's what would happen though? Do you think that if that were the case, say Kendrick comes back, he mollywops him, he like releases a fire response, and then Cole comes back and is like, "Oh, word, that's what we doing." Bet.
I think
And
that's the only way. I think that's one of the few ways. That's the only clear way that everyone's like, all right, now we can back with J. Cole and he can get the street cred that he lost back. I think that's one of the few ways. That might be the best. That might be the best way.
It might be. You know what? You're right. It might be the best way. And I just really hope Kendrick mollywops him. I hope he mollywops Drake too. I really hope. So.
Well, we won't have to wait that long. Apparently, Kendrick Lamar has an album coming out in May.
Really?
Yeah, he has one coming out next month, reportedly. So if he does respond to anything, we'll see in May.
That's gonna be fun. And I'll end my piece with this, and I don't know if you have something to say afterwards, but for me, the reason why I and so many hip hop loyalists and purists were looking forward to this beef or this back and forth was because the game needed it. You know what I'm saying? It needed it bad. Like hip hop was in such a macabre state that, you know, it was dead. Hip hop was dead essentially, and you know we got all these cookie cutter rappers, these mumble jumble rappers, and finally we got two guys who can carry the game, going head to head in friendly competition. It wasn't gonna be violent. It wasn't gonna be violent. It wasn't gonna be deadly. It wasn't gonna be a situation where these men tragically lose their lives over something stupid. You know what I mean? It was like, I don't know if you saw that that reel I posted. It was that clip from whatchamacallit, what's that movie with Lakeith Stanfield? Sorry to Bother You, where he and the dude are going back and forth like, "Yo, I hope you have a nice day, brother." Oh, word,
yeah.
you really have a nice
day. I remember that one. I do remember that. I hope your year is good. My year is good? What are you trying to say, brother?
You know what I'm saying? It would have been like that. It would have been like that, and we got robbed of that opportunity. And I can't forgive J. Cole for that. I can't.
There's always a chance. There's always a chance we get it. There's always a chance, but I don't think the game. I don't think hip hop was dead because there's always rappers are always gonna be good. But you always do want to see. It's like watching the two top teams go against each other. You want to see it. Like it's not anyone's gonna get hurt. It's just like, hey, you the top over here, I'm the top over here. Let's just have a competition to see what our skills are like and what we need to work. And that's why NFL games, when like undefeated teams go against each other, are so good. When basketball teams, like the top basketball teams, go against each other, you get so excited. And then this was pretty much like, oh, this team's going against each other, and then like one of the star players is called out because it's on rest management. That's what this was. And it's like,
what?
Huh?
You said the top players is called out because of what?
Because of rest management.
Load management. Oh,
God. Yeah. And then you're just like, I bought tickets for this though.
I bought tickets to see this man play.
What do you mean?
Like, load management. Load management.
I'm trying to think like what would be the best, like, because it's like now if you like there's not really that many. A lot of the teams are really good. But like if we're going off this year, it'd be like, oh, like Boston's gonna play the Nuggets, and then Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are both sitting out for load management.
Like,
and you're just like, what is this?
Right. Yo, you know how expensive these finals tickets were?
Someone better get into this game. I didn't come here to watch. I didn't come here to watch Porzingis. I did. Not lying to you.
I want to see Cavs Warriors again. LeBron and KD better suit up for the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Come on. Don't do that.
I hated those. I hated that 5-year span for real.
Really?
It was always so obvious it was going to be LeBron versus the Warrior dynasty. And I'm like, all right. Like, honestly, it was like after he won that one, I was like, okay, now as early as a series that we could watch. And then KD fucked me up. I'm like, it's like KD signs to go to State. I'm like, what was the purpose of you? That's why I will never forgive KD for that.
Okay,
It
see,
was like you, yeah, like you took, like you guys had a Game 7 matchup. Y'all was great. Like y'all could have went one more year at each other and probably would have won that year. You were always gonna face LeBron. LeBron was always gonna come out the East. This motherfucker be like, I don't want to do it no more. I want to join them, and everyone's like, what the fuck is this? That's pretty
hey,
much what this was.
but can
And
you
then
imagine?
now,
Real fast,
no,
real
because now
fast. You're
go
upset.
for it. I'm upset because now you got fucking people like fucking Future and Metro Boomin calling everyone to go against Drake like he's Thanos in this bitch. Drake is not LeBron. I refuse to let this happen.
No, he's not. He's not. He's really not. Like he's nah. You
He
know, it's
only
funny.
beat Mickey.
Drake's a wild card in all of this anyway.
He only beat Mick Mills. I don't understand why we're getting 20 people to go against him at once. I understand he's a groomer, but like, Jesus. Just let Kendrick handle it if it has to be that big of an issue.
It's like
Dear God, none of you can.
that's why I'm saying I hope Kenny Molly wops him. Whatever Kendrick got to say about Drake. I mean, yeah, about Drake. I hope it's like something nuclear, like Pusha T said. Like, yo, you basically an absentee father. You know what I'm
I hope
saying?
they both. I'm not gonna lie to you. I hope they both at each other, and then they just keep throwing shots at Cole, and so Cole has to respond. He's like, "I'm sick of y'all talking about me. Fuck this."
I saw a
Oh
meme.
man,
I saw a meme yesterday. It was like they basically told Cole, they basically told Cole go back inside because they about to start shooting outside.
yeah, pretty much. And this motherfucker, he has the nerve to be like, "Cole got a gun." No, you don't.
No, you don't. No, you don't. It's
Now I'm
but you
mad.
know
You
what?
got me talking. He's one of
We
my favorite rappers. I'm so pissed right now.
how do you think this is all gonna turn out?
Kendrick Lamar and Drake go at each other for a bit, and then that's about. It's like no one's gonna get hurt. Like I doubt that unless something really goes crazy and Drake, and you end up seeing Drake with a murder charge
Oh
against
shoot!
someone, then I'm like, whoa, I missed a step somewhere.
Again, this escalated quickly.
One of the dots is not connecting. Who's dead? Kendrick Lamar is still walking around. Who got shot? In this like schoolboy kill. I'm like, no. That's the worst. That's the worst turnout for that. The best turnout is like literally they just go back to back with each other with albums. And honestly,
Oh,
because Drake can release albums in like 5 months, how fast he does shit. And I don't think I want to see if Kendrick Lamar can do that himself. That man takes about 4-year breaks after every album anyway.
oh, like I mean, uh, if we get an album this year from Kendrick, then it'll only be 2 years in between albums, which is actually
Oh my
pretty good
god,
for him.
he he cut the time in half.
Right.
Yay! It's still fucking years. Fuck him. Sick of everybody.
Well, what you call it? The time between Pimp a Butterfly and Damn was only 2 years.
Oh fuck it. He needs. I need a year break here.
I listen. A years. Well, a year isn't that bad.
I
A
know,
year's
but
like
like, god damn it.
I think 2 years is pretty decent because you don't want to oversaturate. You know what I'm saying?
No, because I gotta listen to these other fuckers. Tired of them already. Where's JID? Let JID respond and let J. Cole retire. Fuck it.
Oh man, I want
so
Drake to sent into oblivion. That's all. I don't care what happens to Cole. I just want Drake to be like blown off the planet. Like
Drake, if they go bar for bar, Drake will most likely lose anyway. But that's the prediction. That if they just go bar to bar for friendly. My hope is that they just talk too much and that it makes J. Cole respond. So now it's a 3-way fight, and I'm all for that.
and then triple threat match. Yep.
And then that's my goal. That's my dream. That they just go back to back with each other. No one dies. No one needs to get violent. And then like when they're done and they retire, then the next three come in and fight each other. Like I heard what you said about my mans. I came back for round 2. Which might happen because apparently JD has a diss track to Baby Keem, Kendrick Lamar's cousin, Kendrick Lamar's nephew or cousin, coming out too.
Baby Keem don't bother nobody.
Fuck him. Like JD was not letting it slide. Apparently that's like he played a track of it. He played a sample of it at Dreamville.
Right. I don't know.
Whatever. All right. Well, I'm done. We done.
Take us out, bro.
Thank you for listening again to the Excuse Me Brother podcast. I've been one, Brother Tay, with the main host himself, Brother Jay. If you want to come back we really appreciate you. If you like, comment, subscribe, rate us on whatever you're listening to. If you want to be more interactive with us, you can follow us on YouTube at Excuse Me Brother. As you're listening to this or watching this on YouTube, just hit comment. We do read them from time to time. If you want to find us on Instagram, it's excuse_me_brother with an A. Me and Brother Jay control that. We're doing music challenges on it every month. Just to keep it going. And if you want to follow us on TikTok, it's Excuse Me Brother. No spaces or any of that, but it ends with ER. His producer Jay made it, but he's not here, so I won't make the joke because he can't defend himself. Thank you very much for listening. Until we see you again. Peace. Good morning, good night, good evening. And when it comes to being De La Soul, it's just me, myself, and I.